Hello and welcome to Fintech Focus TV with me, Toby, and delighted to be joined today by Nick from PayFit. Nick, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Very nice to meet you.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
So listen, you're in a really exciting area at the moment and just launching a company over in the UK. Tell us a little bit about the company and your background.
Yeah, so the company was launched in 2015 in France. It's payroll and HR software. So France is known to have a very complicated, complex payroll structure, and it's an industry across Europe that hasn't really been innovated for many years. And PayFit was launched by three founders, all friends, quite young, so 21, 22 years old at the time. And they came up with a coding language called Jetlang, which is specifically able to code the payroll legislation for any country very quickly. Wow. So based on this kind of coding language, they were able to achieve huge success in selling really kind of intuitive, easy to use platform for businesses, small businesses up to about 300-400 employees on managing HR and payroll functions in their company. They've had amazing success. We've had amazing success in France since 2015, grown to about 350 people just for the French market.
Incredible.
In just a few years, and have now expanded to Germany, Spain, the UK, and soon Italy. And overall, we just reached the 500 headcount mark.
Wow.
And about 5,000 customers across lots of different industries.
Yeah.
We just launched in the UK last year.
Yeah.
So
that's your role?
That's my role.
Yeah.
That's where I come in. Previously, I was running my own business, a platform called BuzzHire, which was a software in HR, finance, so managing temporary staff and making sure that the software would enable you to schedule temporary staff, communicate with them, and also pay them.
Yeah.
Ran that for 4 years, and then passed that on to a partner to run.
Okay.
Before that, I worked for a company called Rocket Internet.
Yeah.
So Rocket Internet, a German company, they launch big tech businesses all around the world. So they're well known for HelloFresh, perhaps in the UK, Zalando across Europe. It's an e-commerce company, and they hire people to launch those businesses and scale them very fast. So my background was launching an e-commerce platform in Asia called Zalora, the largest fashion e-commerce platform for Southeast Asia. A company in Africa called Jumia, which is the largest e-commerce platform for Africa. Yeah. First company to
quite
IPO.
the background.
Yeah, a lot of very fast-growing tech businesses.
Yeah.
And also a company in the UK called Eat First, which is a food delivery business.
Okay.
So that's my background. That's been over the last 7-8 years, scaling tech businesses from scratch up to 150 employees or so. Yeah. Launching my business, and now PayFit.
And this is a really interesting time as well, because as you say, it's seen rapid growth from a relatively young founding team, moving into different countries. And, we're not seeing massive examples of European companies coming over to the UK and such like. What's been the thinking behind that?
Yeah, I think that across Europe, this is quite a new phenomenon, that you have some really innovative companies from Spain, Germany, France, that have managed to show some amazing growth in their local markets, and looking at the UK as obviously a very big market to go after, but also one where there's quite a lot of competition when it comes to software. And so to be able to compete on that level is a great testament to how innovative the product is and how much value it provides its customers. So after having such amazing success in France, and understanding that when it comes to payroll, there really hasn't been that much innovation, especially for young businesses. So if you're now starting a business or you own a company with 30, 40, 50, 100 employees, you start off using an accountant or a payroll bureau to manage all of that. And over time, you realize that dealing with a third party like that, emails, spreadsheets, etc., becomes really complex and time-consuming and inefficient. And you want to have a platform that allows you to do it very intuitively, automatically, but also provides you that kind of payroll experience and expertise, which a lot of company don't want to spend time to think about. So essentially, we realized that there was a huge opportunity in the UK, just as we saw in France, and we're seeing already today in Germany and Spain. And we wanted to continue that momentum into a really big market.
And you mentioned there the lack of innovation in the space over recent years, and I can understand that. Why do you think now, and why do you think this is such a compelling offering for people who've used to the same?
Yeah, I think that it's clear that over the last decade, software, they say, is eating the world, is the quote, and that's happened across so many different functions and departments, but not every area of a business operation has been looked at, because some are a little less sexy. Like payroll is just a topic which people don't automatically think of when you're thinking about innovative software. So I think it's been just underlooked, just because it's a less attractive area of compared to maybe CRM softwares or accounting softwares, which is something actually that Xero revolutionized in a little bit, and PayFit is doing the same for the payroll sector. So really providing a very simple platform targeted specifically with for companies under 600-700 employees, so not enterprise business, with something which is easy. So I think it's just been overlooked, and one of the really kind of complex part around payroll is that every market is different and has its own different laws. And actually in the UK, you have a lot of laws which are tied to an employment contract. What are the benefits that you provide? What are the HR policies in your team, and how does that impact payroll? And because PayFit has created this coding language, which allows us to code features in hours compared to months, we can build local product teams built for the UK market, for the Spanish market, for the German market. Each market is very different. And therefore, if you think about software, it's quite expensive and time-consuming to build features for each country that you're in. But if you've got this kind of platform called Jetlang, which allows you to build, it's essentially kind of Lego bricks that anyone can apply together and apply it to a certain market, then it allows us to kind of capture the needs of the customers in every single different market that we're in.
Talking about capturing your imagination, that you've just spoken about a really sort of eclectic background of the sort of companies you've been involved in. And as you said, you were a founder of another business before this. What was it that made you as excited about this as you are?
Yeah, a lot of things. So I worked, I guess, first of all, I worked in so many different business models. So I worked in an e-commerce platform, a marketplace, so a platform that was supplying staff to businesses, so that was a marketplace, a food delivery business, which was also a marketplace. And in my own business, I converted it from a marketplace to a B2B SaaS business, so a software for businesses to manage their temporary and staff and pay them and so on. And I really felt that from a business model point of view, a B2B SaaS business focused on SMEs was really an attractive sector to be in. We talked about how software is everywhere now, and a lot of software has been built for kind of more established companies, enterprise, and there's just a lot of opportunity to have great softwares that automate kind of redundant tasks or repetitive tasks through software. So I felt, first of all, I didn't know much about PayFit at the time, but because it was obviously very well known in France, but not so much outside. And I felt, okay, well, it's in an industry, it's got a business model which is quite attractive. It's selling software that every business needs. Everyone runs payroll, and it's focusing on SMEs. So that's kind of where I felt there was a lot of value. Then, that was just piqued my interest, but really not the reason why I was excited. When I met the team, I really, well, first of all, the energy in their office, in a company that's gone from, in 2015, a few people, and is now over 500 employees, you can feel that there's just a real energy and speed at which everything is happening. But also just a leadership team which are great people to work with, and an extremely strong culture, which I find really interesting, because you have founders that launched this company out of university, dropped
Yeah.
out of university to do it, and have built a culture which is extremely modern and very open, and where values are really important.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies are trying to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of kind of very established companies have a lot of people dedicated on trying to build culture. And I worked at P&G, Procter & Gamble,
Yeah.
which invests a lot in its people. And a lot of companies have struggled to achieve this.
Yeah.
But I saw firsthand what some very, young founders have created, which a lot of very established companies are trying to do, and every company is trying to build a great culture, but
Yeah.
haven't achieved it.
It's just that authenticity as much as anything else from...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can, what is the secret to building a great culture in a company? Everyone's trying to figure that out. But I think being very authentic with your values,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't fake it.
Yeah.
If you're a leader in the company and the values are ones that you kind of naturally embody,
Yeah.
that will have a very big impact.
But that was clear for you right from the
yeah,
start.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't kind of, and everyone was very aligned across the leadership team, which is rare,
Yeah.
that everyone kind of feels that. And I think a couple of things that PayFit does, which is above and beyond what other companies might do, is that they include a lot of people in the recruitment process, and there's always a drinks, we call it a barbecue test, but like the opportunity for everybody in the team to meet the candidates and to interact with each other, and easy, both ways the candidate can get a feel for the kind of company that they may be joining, and the employees get an understanding of what the candidate's like, just to be able to get along with them and feel like, does this person have similar values?
Yeah.
For us, it's care, humility, passion, and excellence.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what your background is or what you are as a person, but do you share those values?
Yeah.
So that's one way that the recruitment process kind of checks and allows us to kind of maintain the right kind of culture. But also, we invest a lot in onboarding new hires, and I think that at scale delivers a great culture, which is rare. So,
I mean, that's the interesting part, isn't it? To see it grow from a handful of friends at university into a 500-person organisation and keep that sort of golden thread coming through it.
exactly.
That's no mean feat.
No.
And as it continues to internationalise with different cultures to each office, you're how big now in London?
25.
25 in London. Would you say that you can feel a very similar sort of theme between
Absolutely.
France and the UK?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a couple examples. Every employee at PayFit is encouraged to travel to the other offices. So we constantly have visitors from the other countries.
Yeah.
PayFit will pay for your flights for twice a year to any of the offices of Barcelona,
Yeah.
Berlin, Paris, London, soon maybe Milan.
Nice.
So there's this kind of feel of like everyone is exploring and going to the other cities and understanding and interacting with each other. And there are big kind of annual summits. There are very regular team meetings with everyone involved. So and yeah, like I said, there's a global onboarding week, which means that everyone goes to Paris for a week when they're hired. So it's really as you internationalize and you have multiple different offices, it becomes harder and harder. But there's a lot of structure there to make sure that people feel one company wherever they are in the world.
That's amazing. It's lovely to hear that. And that engagement, I think, is probably critical to everything. I know that's something you feel passionate about, right?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, success is defined by the people there in terms of how fast we grow. But the key thing about PayFit is that we are taking away from the software that we have kind of redundant, low-value tasks, perhaps, from a finance person or an HR person, so that they can focus on the more value-added work.
Yeah.
And our vision at PayFit is to make work a source of fulfillment for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do with our platform, so that you can work on the things that really make you happy and deliver value. And it's the same for all the people working at PayFit.
Yeah, I was going to say that spreads through, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It starts with us. I mean, if that's our vision, we need to make sure that fulfillment is the number one objective for everyone working in the company.
Yeah.
And if we can do that for ourselves, then we can start doing that for our customers.
And it sounds like there's a massive opportunity in the UK market, which you've got to be pretty excited about to mirror that in France. What do you think some of the challenges are set to be?
So, yeah, as you said, the UK is a huge market, one of the biggest markets in Europe for the number of SMEs. So really a lot of customers out there that need a solution. I think that as you mentioned, internationalizing is a challenge in itself. Every market has its nuances. Europe is different, there's cultural differences, language differences, competitive landscape difference. So for us to build, a company in the UK that is really delivering value to the UK customers, we need to have a real kind of UK focus on a local level. So that means, how do we market ourselves? How do we sell the platform? What are the features in there? All of those things need to be tweaked.
And different pitches for
yeah, exactly. For the UK. I mean, we've built over the many years, best in class sales process in order to grow so fast. Product teams, which are about 200 people. So lots of great processes, and so applying them directly to the UK will get us far, but to really be successful in the long term, we need to think about, how do we address the needs of the UK customers over the next multiple decades in the best possible way, and it's not exactly the same. So essentially adapting what we've learned and to the local market will be important. And in the context of, in the UK users are extremely tech savvy compared to other, small businesses. Small businesses will set up and launch with a plethora of different softwares from the beginning, which is unlike in Italy, France, Spain. And so they're extremely tech savvy. People know exactly what they're looking for. The level of automation expected is very high because there's already a lot of processes that are automated through software in the UK, and so for us, that means that the pitch and how we brand ourselves and so on is slightly different. The great thing for us is that no one offers this kind of solution in the market. We really see ourselves as an extremely intuitive, automated platform for payroll with the service on top of a kind of that you would expect from an accountant or so on. And so it's really a great opportunity, but the challenge is to make sure that we address UK customers in a very UK specific mindset. Yeah,
I think that's what you see from a lot of European companies who come in here and don't necessarily get that traction is same and mirroring the same thing. So it's hugely encouraging to hear that, and I guess look, in a year to have scaled already, it shows that there's some traction to what you're doing and getting the model right. I'm going to ask you one last thing, which is about the next steps, the future. What's that hold for you?
Yeah, 2020 is going to be a big year for us. We just moved into the UK last year in July, so we've only been in the market for 7 or 8 months, and we are the most innovative platform when it comes to payroll and HR for SMEs. So just building that brand awareness is going to be the focus this year. We plan on doubling the headcount. We plan on quadrupling the number of customers that we have. But our main focus is really just to make sure that people, businesses everywhere across the country know that there's a platform like ours out there that take the best of kind of intuitive software and automation and that really kind of dedicated account management that you might expect from an accountant or a payroll bureau. So in short, it's really about growing our market share and recognizing that in the UK, there's nothing like PayFit out there right now.
And that means building the sales teams and product teams and customer success teams and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
We've heard why it's a great place to work. If someone's watching, what would you say the key things about why to get on board?
Yeah, I think it's very rare to have that mix of great growth and potential for career development with really strong culture where people are enjoying themselves and there's a great energy. I've worked in a lot of different companies in my career, and you've either had that really kind of amazing growth, but like it sacrifices culture, or you have a nice culture, but you don't have that career development potential. Whereas PayFit's really unique in that. I mean, we've gone from just a few people to 500. The country manager for France started off as an account executive in the sales team a few years ago.
So it's great stories all the way through it.
Yeah, exactly. Across the organization, you have young, ambitious people that have moved up really quickly and had a great time in doing so.
Yeah.
So that's really rare.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often. So that's what I would say would be the most attractive thing about PayFit.
So get on board.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
message.
Yeah.
Nick, I could be speaking about this for ages. It sounds like an amazing company, and I'm so pleased you guys are doing really well. How do people get in touch with you?
Directly through email is the best way. nick.miller@payfit.com would be my email address.
Well, if you're there and you're interested, please reach out to Nick. Nick, it's been brilliant speaking to you.
Very nice to speak
Thanks
to you
so
too.
much for your time. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
all of you for watching, and we'll see you again soon on Fintech Focus TV. Thanks a lot.